Hi, welcome to Miracle Making Psychology and Tarot Tools with my weekly 10-minute micro lesson. Today I want to talk about freedom. Freedom to love. Freedom to love unconditionally. If there are conditions, we don't really have the freedom to love. As both freedom and love have always been very important to me, I decided today to explore them a little bit deeper. So, that's about me, about you. Write your name and comments below, say hello as you join. Even on the replay, say hello. Where are you in the world? So, today's topic, freedom to love unconditionally. For those who don't know me, my name is Tatiana Morris, and I am a conscious relationships expert. What does that mean? It means that I combine the knowledge that I have from being a mental health counselor, a tarot reader, and a cosmo-energy healer to help people understand themselves and others and connect on a deep emotional level. I have spent the last 15 years of my life accumulating knowledge in an attempt to understand myself, other people, how the world works, and now I want to share it with you. Today my clients are women and men who want to deeply understand themselves and others, to be in touch with their higher self, with their soul, have a fulfilling life and happy relationships. And well, I consider unconditional happiness to be my signature topic, because the ultimate goal of my work with any of my clients is their journey towards the unconditional happiness. Freedom and love and freedom to love are very important ingredients in the recipe for unconditional happiness. And so this is why we are talking about it today. So, the topic, freedom to love unconditionally. So, what do you think stops us from loving unconditionally? Type a short answer in the comments below. Okay, so I'll start with the difficult part, but bear with me. Freedom is an internal state which we can always choose to be in despite any external circumstances, which can be limiting us somewhere objectively in the material world. Unconditional love is freedom, because we can choose to be in a state of love instead of any other state, despite any external circumstances and conditions. And freedom is unconditional love, because by loving ourselves and others unconditionally, we can allow ourselves and other people to just be who they are and do what they want. Ideally, from the place of their heart and not from the place of the mind. But anyway, I can see how this can be a little difficult to understand right away. It was for me to actually difficult to formulate it when I was thinking about it. So, if you want to know more about that, tell me yes below. And tell me yes if you have ever heard about it before. And if you know anyone who can benefit from those tips, from this topic, write their name below. So, lately I have been trying to understand the topics of freedom and unconditional love deeper. Because yes, there are things on the surface, but I think those two concepts are can go extremely deep and not always easy to understand. So, and because again, those things are necessary for the unconditional happiness that I'm looking for and helping people achieve, I found it important to explore them. So, when we put conditions on our capacity to love ourselves and others, we limit or sometimes completely block the flow of love, which is always available to us. And when that happens, it turns life lifeless. We need love to really feel alive. It's as simple as that. And so let's explore what are the possible obstacles that stop us from loving unconditionally. The first example that comes to my mind is a story of unreciprocated love. Well, first, the whole reciprocity thing is already a condition. And so the logic of it being something along the lines of, how can I love you if you don't love me? Well, let's look a little deeper into how this condition even got created in the first place. Well, and the first thing that comes to mind with any unreciprocated love is the emotional of the following kind, emotional logic of the following kind. Because remember, emotional logic is different from logical logic. So, if you don't love me, it means I'm not worthy of your love. Because otherwise, why wouldn't you love me, right? So it means I'm bad, something's wrong with me. And guess what? From that logic, you feel shame. And it blocks the flow of love. And so, well, if you doubt that this is how it works, remember any time when you felt rejected. And, well, rejection is a part of life, and we all experience that. That's why I'm sure you'll find an example for yourself of when you experienced that personally. So, and back to unreciprocated love, to just, well, clarify the topic while we are on it. Usually, people never think about the true reason for their love being unreciprocated, which is, in reality, there is only one reason for not reciprocating someone's love. And I'm not talking about relationships here, not at all. I'm only talking about the feeling. And I'll explain the difference a little later. So the only reason for unreciprocating somebody's love is the blocked heart of the person who is the object of that unreciprocated love, who doesn't want to reciprocate and love back to someone who loves them. And in reality, compared to how people usually feel and think about that, the person who doesn't let the love in, love from somebody else, they are losing a lot. And so that's why, like, the one who loves always wins. But I know that's not how it feels normally, because of, again, how the logic of how we think about those things. And that's why I want to clarify it here. So, and then there is shame, there is the blocked love from the unreciprocation, from rejection. So what happens? There is pain. And this pain of unreciprocated love, which I'm sure you heard tons of songs about it, I'm sure you read books, you watched movies, it's everywhere in the culture. The pain of it is the shame and the pain of this loss of the flow of love, no more, no less. Because love cannot hurt. But the feeling of unworthy of being loved can and does hurt a lot. So this is why this whole topic of rejection, it's not about love hurting. It's the rejection or our assessment of what it means to be rejected that hurts. And so, this is why to love unconditionally, we really need to let go of all those things, of all those blocks and conditions. And so, I have a different option of the unreciprocated love situation. I love you, and you don't love me, and that's okay. And you don't have to love me, because the feeling of love you bring in me, it's a beautiful gift, and I'm eternally grateful to have you in my life at this exact short moment of time. As you can see, this approach does not include any type of requirement of any kind, expectation, or any kind of relationship with the object of your love, because you don't put conditions on your ability to feel this beautiful feeling towards someone, literally any person you choose, because you can if you want to. It's a decision. Now, it's important to separate the two things that people, including in scientific psychological literature, I was shocked about that, tend to confuse a lot. The feeling of love and the relationship of the person you love, or the person who loves you, whichever way, it doesn't matter. Those are two separate things that have nothing to do with each other. Well, they can, but they don't have to. So that's why putting the love and the relationship as one thing, it's by default, it's another condition, and eventually it blocks our capacity to love. Because, well, what if I can't be in a relationship with this person? It means I can't love them. Why not? Why not? Anyway, unconditional love doesn't include the infatuation or illusion part of the most love stories that you can see in most cultures. Let me tell you what psychologically speaking is happening in a, like, this average life story that you can see in a movie, read in a book, or whatever, like in a pop culture. So psychologically speaking, that's what happens. The main character, whoever, male or female, doesn't matter, have some sort of rose-colored, usually, projection of one or a combination of both of their parents or caretakers, somewhere in the back of their mind, on the unconscious. Also, like, as well as all of us do, they have some unresolved childhood pains. And unconsciously, again, they need to resolve it and let go of the repressed feelings. That's how it works. And those things, with similarity and the pain, they create the attraction because, the unconscious mind sees them, it thinks, okay, this is the person that can help me get rid of all this crap. And so they fall in love. That's how it's called. Well, after falling in love, what happens? To actually stay in love long enough, there is, physical components and all that. Anyway, the focus of the attention of the person in love is on the positive, attractive to them sides of the person they pick for the projection and for this whole love thing. And usually they completely ignore or not see the whole person. And there is always something they like, something they don't like. That's just how people are, right? Anyway, and this is your typical love story from the depth, from the point of view of the depth psychology, which I practice. So, and then what happens over time? Of course, after years together, they can't help but see the whole person. Especially with the projection of the parents, they start relating as if those are their parents and all that stuff. That's what happens. And so they see the whole person, add some resentment and unresolved conflict to the recipe, and that's your typical relationship that you would see in the pop culture. And usually it needs like months, if not years of therapy or coaching, whichever other way we want to go. So that's the normal love. Now let's go back to the unconditional love. The unconditional love doesn't include this illusion component. You can see the negative, the unattractive sides of the person you love and still love them for the beautiful soul they are. Because in each person there is a beautiful soul somewhere. And sometimes it's hard to see, that's unfortunately. But you can still choose to focus on the light in them and connect with it instead of connecting with the shell that covers that light. Because also there is no condition for anyone to be a certain way, including you. And that's the freedom of loving unconditionally. However, here I need to clarify something. Please don't confuse the unconditional love with codependency and enabling behaviors, which I talked about before. It's not even close energetically, but on the surface it can seem very similar. Because while loving unconditionally, you can set very clear boundaries about how you let people you love treat you. And that's your decision, not theirs. So, unconditional love doesn't mean you should allow your loved one to hurt you or themselves if it's in your power to stop it, for example. Because adults can do whatever they want. That's their responsibility. So, however, if they choose the path of harm, by whatever reason, right? You don't have to stop loving them. You can just change the type of relationship you have with them, if you have any at all. And so that's exactly my point. For different reasons, you may or may not be able to or choose to have any kind of relationship with a person you love, and that's okay. No conditions. However, it doesn't mean you should stop loving them. Because, well, that's a beautiful feeling that you are having, independently from what they are doing. So, coming back to the freedom of loving unconditionally. Unconditional love does not require you to be a certain way, to change, or change somehow to love and be loved. You are free to be you. You don't have to do anything or make any effort to be loved or to love others. Just allow yourself to feel. And that's, by the way, not a condition. It's a natural human capacity, just like breathing. We need it to live in this physical human body. If you don't breathe, you die. I think COVID proves it well enough. And so if you don't feel, you die too. Just less literally. Your life turns into one of a zombie. Colorless, tasteless, lifeless. That's a choice you can make. But why would you? Out of the fear of vulnerability? You can, it's a choice. Do you really want to though? And if you don't want the life of a zombie, and you do want to feel but don't know how to allow yourself, well, come find me. This is exactly what I do. I help people to truly get to know themselves, to connect with their mind and with their heart and their feelings. Accept vulnerability as a strength, not as a weakness. And so, if you want to know more, let's connect. Use the link below. And thank you for listening.